I'm sure that you've all heard the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, which has stood for nearly 50 years. This essentially eliminates the constitutional right to abortion and leaves it up to each state. Now, the court's 6 conservative justices voted to overturn it, while the 3 liberal justices voted against it. Now, the president spoke about it earlier today. Here's just some of what he said.
It's a realization of an extreme ideology and a tragic error by the Supreme Court, in my view. The court has done what it has never done before, expressly take away a constitutional right that is so fundamental to so many Americans that had already been recognized.
He also said it's up to voters in November to protect abortion rights. This decision basically means that abortion will now be illegal, or will soon be, in at least 20 states. Tori, you and I have been talking just privately, but what are your thoughts, and what would you like to tell the viewer?
First off, just know that this is a watershed moment for women in American history, that we have less rights than our grandmothers and our mothers did. And what's odd to me, too, is that the Supreme Court just came out with a case that said there's a constitutional fundamental right to carry a concealed weapon, but not for me to make, as a woman, a medical decision. Those two, to me, which one is it? You can't have both. So when you go to have an abortion, and if, God forbid, you don't ever have to, it is a difficult decision. It is a hard decision. You make it with your partner or alone with your doctor. The last person that should be in that room, in my opinion, is the United States government telling you and mandating you to carry to term even a baby from rape and incest. In Missouri, my friends, as of this taping, it's illegal. They have shuttered the abortion clinics. Welcome to Handmaid's Tale. It's a day that will live in infamy, as Hillary Clinton has said. And
I think for me as a woman, if the data from before Roe v. Wade told us that banning or restricting abortion created less abortion, then maybe I would understand a dialogue there, because I don't want to see a fetus killed, even though I'm pro-choice. Like, I understand if we had data, but unfortunately, what it shows that when you restrict or ban abortion, it does not decrease abortion. It just increases more dangerous and unsafe abortions, which is more loss of life. So what are we really doing here? Yeah. What are you thinking?
Quickly, I want to get to Mark, then get a legal perspective on this. But for me to see my wife go through 2 childbirths and create 2 beautiful baby boys, one being a C-section, one being a natural birth, and to see what her body went through on both, right? And even in our own home, we're like, should we have another child based on what your body went through? And to not give a woman a right to choose what her body goes through is not American to me. And this is an American choice. And a lot of people view me as a Republican on this show. And it's like, that's why I hate political parties, because it's all about your own choice. And that's all I'll say on that.
No, well said. So for our legal perspective, we are joined today by former prosecutor and veteran trial attorney. He's also an adjunct law professor, Mark Eiglarsh. Welcome. We appreciate you being here, despite for many Americans, today is not a time to celebrate. While some Americans, let's be honest, some of our viewers are celebrating.
Fair. All right, Mark, what does this ruling mean? We just got to hear it from you. Does this end a woman's right to abortion? Talk to us about the states and all of that.
All right, I'm going to talk legally and try to keep my personal feelings out of it.
Okay.
It doesn't end abortions. It's just saying by a 6-3 decision, it's overturning Roe versus Wade. It ends the constitutional right to an abortion, giving power to the states to decide for themselves what the law should be.
So, Mark, this is kind of just, what is their reasoning behind this decision? I think that's a question everyone has.
Okay, so here's what they did, right? I read the opinion. They say, okay, well, let's see if there's a constitutional right to an abortion. Okay, let's pull out that document from 1787. Okay, oh, it's got the right to bear arms, got that. Where is the woman's right to an abortion? Oh, yeah, the founding fathers never brought that up. So it's not in there. Some of you argue due process or equal protection
14th
clause.
Amendment.
Yeah, we're gonna decide that it's not part of that right. So we're just gonna say no federal right to a constitutional abortion. And they know by making this decision that approximately half the states, at least now, are either creating laws that ban it outright or greatly restrict a woman's access to abortion.
Well, let's stick on that topic, Mark, because this is going to be a conversation that will be had by millions and millions of Americans. But let's talk about the women that live in states that will need abortions, and that state has not made that illegal. can they get in trouble for going to another state? Can they get in trouble for having an abortion pill sent to them? Like, what is the legalities facing the women in these states?
As I tell my criminal defense clients, what does the law say, right? The current state of the law, if there's nothing that precludes someone from going to another state, which I'm not aware of anything right now, then go for it. And there's nothing that precludes a woman's access to a pill or contraception. But beware, my friends, that stuff may be coming.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about, Mark, is this slippery slope, which really isn't even slippery anymore.
No,
I feel
we're
like
there.
It's here.
We're there.
To that point, Mark, do women who have a miscarriage, and let's be honest, many of us women have had miscarriages, in one of these states, do they now face the possibility of being accused of having an abortion and getting prosecuted? Is that on the table?
Well, the idea is you're innocent until proven guilty, but there'll be greater scrutiny, I think, in cases like that, knowing that people don't have the financial resources to be able to drive sometimes 12, 15 hours to the neighboring state that allows abortions. So there will be abortions performed in some way within a state that we know will be deemed unlawful. That said, there'll be greater scrutiny by prosecutors in those jurisdictions for women who are claiming to have miscarriages.
Wow. All right, let me ask you this, because this is what we're all really hinting at. Does this decision have a greater impact on other rights? Because this is saying the right to privacy is now not an open door. So same-sex marriage, the right to contraception. I know Clarence Thomas wrote in his concurrence he wants to overrule both of these. So this is a real issue. What do you think, Mark?
I don't think this ruling in and of itself means that it's precedent for the other cases, but it shows you their thought process.
Right.
It shows you that right now, 6 of the 3 justices think in this way. They're calling it a charge rather than a foul, like a referee in a game. You know where their positions lie. So then you apply it to other things like same-sex marriages or same-sex relationships or access to contraception. And you know what's coming, which only increases the mindset that voting matters, who you put in the office. Nothing has changed in 50 years. The law didn't change, but the mindset and the makeup of the Supreme Court did, and that happened because who was in the White House.
Wow. Mark, we appreciate you as always. Thank you so much for joining us. For more information on Mark and his law firm, go to speaktomark.com. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.